Hello, Force of Will players. Today we're going to crack open a box of Winds of Almost Moon. This was donated kindly from Oz Animat. They gave us the box, the playmat you see behind us. You only get the playmat for 6 boxes bought, and they gave us the time spinning witch ruler. This ruler you get for buying 3 boxes. This ruler says it has This ruler has Judgment for 2, an Energize for blue, or water, and a 0 cost ability, produce Time Will, that's what we're going to call it. Spend this will to only play activate abilities, or pay Mobilize or Awakening costs of chance. Play this ability only once per turn. So when it says once per turn, you can play it in your turn, and then you can play it in your opponent's turn. So this ruler is actually colossal. Colossal means that it'll flip over when you do Judgment, like every ruler. And then once you do Judgment again, you'll flip again. That's pretty cool. So there's only one other colossal ruler, Gil Alamat, and this J ruler basically restarts the game, but you start with this ruler in your ruler zone instead. At the beginning of your main phase, choose one and produce that, or draw a card. Look how shiny that is, pretty good. So in the box, we get the basic ruler pack, like always. And in that we'll have our buy box promo. And our buy box promo this set is Biri Ball. This is a card that was released with Shayla. No, it wasn't. It was released in the next set. Rest target resonator. It's 1 cost, quick cast. If the weather is thunderstorm, this card deals damage to that resonator equal to its attack. So it's a 1 mana kill something basically. Looks pretty cool. I like that card a lot. And in this ruler pack, we'll have draft rulers. They're quite basic, and then we'll have some magic stones. So they've removed the magic stones from the box boosters. Well, let's get started, shall we? Now, you're going to have to excuse my raspy voice. This isn't how I normally sound, but I've been unwell. So, we're going to kick off the first pack. I've cut the tops to make it nice and quick for us. Get rid of the rubbish. We have Black Leaf. We have Time-Bound Spirit. Red Leaf. Bloodied Wings. Fairy with a Holy Tree. And our variant in the first pack. So in each booster box we get 1 variant. Variant Wings of Ragnarok. It's a 3 cost, 700, 800 defense. Pay a water. This card gains flying until end of turn. That's pretty cool. Our full art for the box, for the booster is Herbivorous Beast. This card gains plus 300 attack for each wind magic stone you control. That's pretty cool. And we get our first secret rare as well, Inheritor of the Stars, Gil Lapis. This card is pretty cool. I'm excited to play this card. If this card cannot be cancelled if your J ruler is Gil or Gil the Gifted Conjurer, which is the starter deck ruler. At the beginning of your main phase, put a mystery counter on your J ruler. Remove an elemental from your graveyard from the game. Produce any will and put a 1/1 counter on this card. Place ability only once per turn. So, if you read the text down the bottom here, it says that basically Rhea fuses with what's his face, Gil, and they come out with Gil Lapis. It's probably the sun, but I wonder if they just fuse together. It's probably the sun though. And so we can see the mystery counter mechanics, and we can see Gil's elemental synergy as well. So you could actually go into either deck. So with mystery counters or with elementals. I think that's really awesome. Our uncommons include Restoration and Winds of Guidance. Restoration is a really interesting card, and it's interesting that it got placed with white and red. White and red hasn't been a good pairing for a long time. And it's a Tigris Pearlshine support. You may play this card without paying its cost instead of putting it into your hand. So it basically tutors a 2-drop or less from your deck and puts it onto the field. I kind of like that because it brings some consistency to Tigris. Alright, next one. We have Fifth Element, Dark Bokuru, Isolate, Technique Gem Warrior. This is one of my favorite cards in the set. Barrier on a 1-drop is pretty bonkers. This card gains plus 100 as long as you control 2 or more pandas. That's pretty cool. It also counts Tager's Spellshine as the second panda, so that's pretty strong. Time Composing Elf, Firebird. Our full art is Lava Magian. When if this card is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target J/Resonator. That's pretty strong, so I can it could redirect a damage spell basically. And our rare for the booster is Ataraxia, City of Verdant Green. Yeah, it's an addition in fairly aggressive colors though. Produce one of the red or green. If you spend this will to play a Resonator, it gains swiftness as it enters the field until end of turn. This card is kind of being hyped at the moment. I'm not sure if you want to play a 0 tempo playing this in an aggressive deck. I think I'd much rather just play a 2-drop that hits someone in the face. But we'll see. Maybe this with Maribella might be like ridiculously strong. We have Spirit of Time as an uncommon, and Alexandriate's Crash. So my favorite card from the set is actually Arrival of the Hero. It's a rare, and basically if you have a J-Ruler it's for free and you can kill anything. So hopefully we pull one of those. We have Dread Touch, Resistor of Destiny, Sleeping Vampire, Herbivorous Beast, Sprinting Time Horse. This card is actually pretty interesting. This card enters the field and give another target Resonator swiftness. When this card is put in the graveyard, put 4 strength counters on your J/Ruler. So 4 strength counters is pretty important because high speed costs 4. And I think there's something there. High speed burns the opponent for 400 and has Remnant. It's pretty strong. Grimia's Fairy as well. I like this card. Our full art is a full art rare. Can you see the texture on that bad boy? That's pretty cool. Cecil and Tia. It's a 4-cost 1000. Pay a green or a wind. This card deals 100 damage to target J/Resonator, or you can rest him to recover 2 target magic stones. I really like this card. It's high utility. It has a will sink, as we call it, where if you don't do anything and the opponent doesn't do anything, you just dump it into there to ping something. I like that. And our rare for the booster is Winds of Salvation. Remove target spell from the game. Now there's some little bit of controversy around this card. You're not technically cancelling it. You're not cancelling the spell. You are literally just taking the spell off the chase and removing it from the game. So that's one way you can get around that early card that we pulled, Gil Lapis. Remember how Gil Lapis said can't be cancelled? Yep. Well, this is a way to cancel it, or cancel it, if you will. Spirit Searching and Gemblade Amethyst. This card's pretty dope. I like this. So you can, on your J-Ruler side of Tigris, you can spend a whole lot of gems and then you play this guy for 2 cost, 1000. I think that's pretty cool. I've always said that I'd take Tigris to a GP one time. Maybe this set is the set that I'd do that, maybe? We've got Raised Gale, Firebow Elf, 5th Element, Firebird, Dual Illusion. Dual Illusion. That's an interesting card. As an additional cost to this card, banish X gems. Target J/Resonator gains plus 300 until end of turn. Target J/Resonators. So you can banish 2 gems and give 2 guys +3/+3. That's pretty cool. Earthquake Observer. This card is cool. I love this card. It's 3 cost. 800. Whenever your opponent plays a chant, this card gains +200/+200 and barrier until end of turn. So if they target this, it'll gain barrier, and then they try to target again and it'll gain barrier again. That's pretty awesome. A 3-drop with barrier whenever your opponent plays a chant. I think that's pretty awesome. A full art Dread Touch that we've seen already, and Seed of Rebirth. This is a story chant that can plug straight into Shahrazad. And I think that's pretty ridiculous because it can play a 2 cost and then a 1 cost from instant speed from its grimoire mechanic. So I think this card is going to see a lot of play. Meditation, quick cast, restore resonators, and time dilation. This card is okay, but I think it's a little bit too slow, a bit too fair. The Awakening, you're only resting something, you're not actually like bouncing it or sending it to top of deck. Next, we have Time Composing Elf again. We have Blue Leaf. We have Mount Hoel Bodyguard Squad. We have White Leaf. This card is free, and you gain 600 life, and it activates Elemental. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this card seeing played in some like rogue decks. Witch's Minion, some time-spending witch support. At the beginning of your phase, produce another Time Wheel. Spend this only to play activate abilities and play Mobilize costs or Awakening cost of chance. So it just doubles down on your ruler ability. Honorable Thief Guild member. At the beginning of your turn, you gain 100 life for each card in your hand. That's interesting for 4 cost. The trouble with this card is that Light doesn't have a lot of card draw in it. So to have an ability that works off cards in hand is kind of irrelevant. We have Praying Mermaid for our full art. It's a common at the beginning of your main phase. The weather is thunderstorm until end of turn. It's kind of like Shayla, but in a resonator. 800 for 3, and we have another secret rare, Time Reversal. Draw a card for 1 cost. Put a mystery counter on your J ruler. J/ruler. And Awakening, so when you play it, you can pay the Awakening as you play it. Remove 3 mystery counters from your J/ruler at the next end of turn. Recover all entities you control. That's really cool. I think once Lapis Cluster rotates, this card can become quite powerful, especially in rare only. Because you play your resonators and then you play this and then you recover, and so you can have a tempo turn and then turn into a control deck. Control turn next. I think that's really strong, but not yet. Wait until rotation. Vivian, when this card enters the field, put target non-magic stone card from your graveyard into your hand. I like this effect, but I don't think I'd be ever playing the stats for 3 cost. But I do like the effect. It's pseudo card draw. And the last audience, a Dole, so it's another Charizard support. Your opponent must block this card if able. Your opponent must attack this card if able. I don't like this, especially with Puppet Master, because now we have another 1 cost Dole that can trigger a draw a card effect. I don't like that idea. I like drawing cards. Next booster. We have Timebound Spirit. We have Essence of the Void. This card enters the field, destroy target damaged resonator. So we have something like this, but already at 2 cost. And I think that's just better, because we're only playing it for the effect. We're not really playing it for the abilities, for the attack and defense. We have Blue Leaf. Funny thing with Blue Leaf. You can pay an inheritance cost to bounce your own Lorite back to your hand and then play the Lorite again without triggering Severing Winds. I think that's pretty awesome. I don't think it'll see a lot of play, but it's awesome. Leaf Assassin, it's another elemental synergy card. For 1 cost, you can deal 200 damage to J/Resonator. That scales. I think that's pretty awesome. Windblade Elf, Witch's Lament, Panda Carpenter, an uncommon full art. When this card enters the field, destroy target addition. If you do, search your deck for an addition, reveal it, put into your hand. I'm not really sure what addition you're going to be playing in a Panda deck. I'll think about it. Drifting Little Moon. It's a treasury item, so Kaguya 4, the Kaguya before this one, played treasury items. And it's a moon, so it's another synergy card. This card cannot attack, but it can tap and block. And it can tap to deal damage to a resonator. And if you manage to get all 4 out, destroy target resonator. That's incredible. That's awesome. And that's our rare. What was that full art? Oh yeah, Panda. Spirit searching. Search your deck for a chant, reveal it and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. This is quite interesting because it's spirit magic, so Guild can start to banish, remove from game elementals to produce it. Because I don't think I would ever pay 2 for this ability. I would only ever pay 1, in which Guild can allow you to do. Eruption. This card deals 800 damage to each J/Resonator. Okay, next pack. We have another blue leaf. We have Zhang Zhang's Bodyguard. I butchered that name, I'm sorry. It's another barrier panda, but the attack isn't really good enough, so we're not going to play that. We have Red Leaf, Honorable Thief, Firebird, Grimia's Fairy. Have another one, Obvious Beast, and Reunion between Master and Pupil. Look at the top 5 cards. You may reveal 1 Fire Chant and up to 1 Fire Resonator from among them. Put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. It's card draw, but it's quite slow for red. I can see this being played in some combo deck with Welzer, but otherwise I think it's a bit too slow. But cost 2, possible draw 2, pretty strong. Invitation to Valhalla. So the next set, we're going back to Valhalla, which is pretty cool. Most Forcible players haven't played Valhalla cards, so it'll be interesting to see some recurring characters from that set, or that cluster. Search your hand, deck, and or graveyard for up to 4 cards and remove them from the game. If you search your deck, shuffle it. So there's some cards there that have synergy there, and another Spirit Searching. We have the Resistor of Destiny, Fairy, Magic Soldier of Time. It's a Golem. That gets them mobilized basically for free with Time Spinning Witch. I think that's pretty cool. And you get to filter a card. I think this card is playable in that deck. Time Bound Spirit to draw a card. Whenever you play Goddard, you may put this card from your graveyard into the field. So it nets you cards for using Goddards. Another White Leaf. Power Spike. And a full art rare. Check out that. That's cool. Grimia. So we can recognize Grimia from the Grim Cluster. If your life is 2,000 or less, you may pay 3 less Void to play this card or remove an aura from your graveyard from the game. This card gains Flying, Drain, and Barrier until end of turn. That is nutty. That's a really awesome card. I love this card. Anti-aggro or can punish aggro for beating you down too quickly. I think that's cool. Another Cecil and Tia. Bird of Demise. I love this card. It's not very great, but I love it because it's quick cast and a Darkness Resonator. I think that's awesome. What I think they could have afforded to put on this card is actually Flying. Instead, we just get Null. So Null is when you have no cards in hand. When this card is put into a graveyard from the field, your opponent loses 600 life unless they banish a Resonator. Losing life is pretty cool. Time Dilation again. Next pack. Earthquake Observer. Burnt Cooking. This card is dope. I love this card. Target J/Resonator gains plus 400, minus 400 until end of turn. If it's a Dragonoid, though, it gains plus 400, plus 400 instead. Put 3 strength counters in your J/Ruler. This card is relevant, first of all, because PL can come down turn 1, and it's a Dragonoid. Second of all, this card is relevant because with Trueblade banned, we need to kill Sacred Elves again, and this card can do that, so it's flexible. And then you put 3 strength counters on your J/Ruler, which is relevant. Sorry, definitely not irrelevant. It's relevant because our counters are going to be blown up, and it's 3, so it costs 2 to search with Kirik Activate, and then we still have 1 left over to pump with a PL. So I like this card. It's just finding room for it, and maybe it fits into a Kirik control rather than Kirik aggro. So keep an eye out on that card. I know it's only common, but I think it has its place. The Dragon Lord's Breath is an awesome card. This card is the reason why I want to play Time Spinning Witch, because you can awaken it all the time. So it's a 1 cost, and then you can awaken it for free, basically, with Time Spinning Witches activate, and you get to draw a card. So you get to bounce a guy, return target resonator, and draw a card. This card is nutty. I love it. And then you can activate twice, another second awakening for 2. Put target resonator on the bottom of a opponent's deck. So you can remove 2 guys and draw a card with 1 card. That's some card advantage stuff. I like that. Matt Hoyle Bodyguard Squad to Dragonoid. I don't mind it. The Resistor, Sprinting Time Horse, and Isolate. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by target's J/Resonator until end of turn. We've seen this card before, but it encompassed all the J/Resonators. I think it's just powering that down a little bit, and then a Resuscitating Will. Recover J/Resonator, and it's an aura. So you can swing with something and then recover it, and then you can block with it next turn. Or you could swing with it for a double attack. It's pretty cool on things like with Drain. Bird of Demise again, and Ground and Air Supremacy. So I think this card is probably the best card of the set. It's 1 cost fire, and it's a battle darts, and it's a chance speed. I think that's really good. And as an additional cost to play this card, remove 5 strength counters from your J/Ruler. Choose 1, search your deck for a card named PL, and put into the field, then shuffle your deck. Or this card deals 1000 damage to target J/Resonator if you control them. I like this card because a 2-drop can come down for 1 cost, and some counters. It also is a battle art, so you can search it with Keurig. So previously your searches would only ever find spells, whereas now your search can actually find a Resonator. I think that's sick. Basically, that card will set the pace of the meta. Whirling Winds. Choose 1, it's an aura. So it works with Grimia. Draw a card, or remove target J/Resonator that's attacking from battle. Dual Illusion. Gem Technique Warrior, Power Gem Warrior. This is the other 1-drop panda. This card gains +1/+1 as long as you control 2 or more. It just has first strike. I don't really rate this one. Red Touch. We have Blue Leaf, full art. That's cool. And we have Distortion of Time, full art. That's sick. Not full art. Sorry, secret rare. Look at the top card of your deck. You know, put it on the bottom of your deck, and then draw a card. So you can either draw it or filter it away and draw the next one. It's a God Art, so God Art is once per game you can use this. Remove this card during a game and pay 3. Your opponent skips the next recovery phase. Play this ability only during your turn. That is awesome. This card, I think, can be played in Shayla as well, as long as you play the Time Wheel Stones, which hopefully we'll find in this box. And definitely with Time Spinning Witch. I think this card is awesome. I love it. And I think it'll only get better once rotation happens in September as well. We have Carpenter again, and then the night before the Decisive Battle. Search your deck for a mystery. So we have auras like this one. There's other cards that say mystery, reveal it, put into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So the mystery cards aren't anywhere near as good as like searching for anything. So that's why this one costs 1, and another card that we saw before, Spirit Searching, only costs 2. Another one we have Requiem of the Soul. Put target Resonator from the graveyard into your hand. Earthquake Observer. Firebow Elf. I love this card in draft. I think this card is excellent in draft or sealed. This card enters the field, deals 800 damage to target J/Resonator. And it's a common. It's probably one of the reasons. Like, these 2 cards are 2 of the reasons why I would play red in sealed or draft. Both commons and both high impact, hard to remove. Or removal. Wings of Ragnarok, the non-variant. I love this card as well. Activate ability with time, so it's basically once per turn for free. Time Spinning Witch, it gains 200, and flying until end of turn. I think that's an awesome, and it doesn't say only once per turn. It's as many times as you want. I think that's cool. Other isolate, honorable thief, and power the Emperor. Target J/Resonator gains +600/+600 until end of turn. This is a similar card that we've seen printed already, but this one isn't Spirit Magic. I'm not really sure why we got another one in this set, because there's only 2 sets ago that we got, 3 sets ago that we got it. We have Vice Leader of the Chivalrous Thieves, Blaze at the beginning of your main phase, draw a card. Now this card seems good, but I don't think it's good, because it says beginning of your main phase, so you have to play this guy in your main phase, so you have to wait until your next turn. It gives your opponent an entire turn for them to kill it, and then you can only start generating value on it if it survives, and I don't think that's good enough in a control deck, which Darkness generally is. With Dragon Hunt, I love this card. It's an uncommon, Swiftness Precision for 3, 600, 1000. 1000 defense is pretty rough to burn through. If this card would deal damage to a dragon or beast, it deals double that much instead. I think that's awesome. And then Leaf Dragon, I love this card as well. Remove an elemental from your graveyard from the game. Put a +100/+100 counter on this card. Play this ability only once per turn. So counters survive through end of phases. So it stays on there permanently unless they get removed by another mechanic. Okay, we have Lightning Speed Crash. It's 3 cost, quick cast. It's an aura as well. This card deals 800 damage to target rested J/Resonator if the weather is thunderstorm. Deals 1200 instead. That's cool, but I think it's too expensive. Demon in the Moonlight gains precision, and it gains a death touch effect. When this card deals damage to a J/Resonator, destroy it. That's pretty cool. I don't know how you play it in Time Spinning Witch, because you have to sit there on the field for a whole turn in Darkness. I'm not sure. I think the deck has to play white or light. Wailing Winds again. Blue Leaf. Power Spike. Last Audience. Uncommon full art's cool. And PL's Cook Sylvia. So Sylvia we've seen before as a character. This is young Sylvia. It's a Dragonoid. This card enters the field or at the beginning of your turn. If there are no counters on this card, put a quick encounter on it. Otherwise, remove all quick encounters in this card and put that many spoiled cuisine counters. Remove a quick encounter on this card, another J/Resonator gains +400/+400 till end of turn. Remove a spoiled, and you're -400/-400. So it kind of alternates between the two. So buff your guy, minus their guy, buff your guy, minus theirs. Naughty Child's Chastising. This is another card why light is really good as a secondary color right now, because it destroy target resonator that is attacking you. You gain life equal to its attack. Really good. It can help you stabilize your life total mid to late game against aggro. I think that's good. 3 Sisters of Time. We've seen these 3 sisters. At the beginning of your main phase, choose one at random. Now that's really interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Choose at random. So there's 3 abilities. Remove the top card of your deck from the game. You may play that card until end of turn. Or you may pay 1 fire less to play your next chant this turn. Or your opponent cannot play chants until end of turn. There are really 3 unique effects. Well, unique-ish. The first 2 are very similar. And the third one says, please don't interact with me until end of turn. I think I would almost always want the third one. But it is on a 4 cost, so I struggle to warrant any of these for 4. I wish it was something similar with this, but on a slightly lower cost and with worse stats. Then I would probably play it. Uncommon though, so that's okay. Card might be good in sealed or draft. Not sure. We have a white leaf, red leaf. All these elementals, I love them. And Golem, Jewel Illusion, Praying Mermaid, and a full art Seed of Rebirth. That is awesome. That is awesome. Full art rare. Check out the texture on that. That's why I play this game. And we have an addition, the Kingdom of Diversity Light Palace. This is an interesting card. It means that the more resonator types or races you have among, they all get buffs from that. And resonators you control gain certain abilities based on if your J ruler has that or not. I don't know how to play this card. There's lots of value there. I just don't know how to play it. Maybe in an Alice World deck. But does an Alice World deck really want to play a 2-cost edition? I'm not sure. But there's potential there. I mean, this could be your win condition in an Alice World deck, actually. Once you've established your board, and then you just jam this boy down and do something. There's potential. And End of Possession, this is an interesting card for AU support, basically. For 3 cost, target J/Resonator loses all abilities and becomes a 0/100 until end of turn. If it's AU, it retains all abilities and becomes 2000 instead, so it basically doubles her attack, or her base attack and defense, and I think that's awesome. But of course in AU, you only have 1 copy. You can't have multiple copies. Okay, we have another Aura of Hope. Rest J/Resonator. Play this with Lumia to play something and then rest it, and then flicker it at end of turn. Wombo combo. We have Firebird, Sprinting Time, Gem Warrior, Essence. We have Leaf Fairy. And Howell Pig Squadron, probably my favourite card, or one of my favourite cards from the set. I love this card. 3 cost, 8/8, Swiftness, Precision. Wow, that's broken. Swiftness and Precision, 3 costs with regular 3 cost stats. That's ridiculous. And on top of that, you get an effect as well. When this card is put in your graveyard from your field, search your deck for Howell Pig and put it in the field. If you control Piggy, a 2 cost guy, search your deck for any number of cards named Howell Pig and put them into the field. Instead, entities put in the field this way gain Swiftness until end of turn and shuffle your deck. You get all your Pig boys, and if you have Piggy, you can actually activate Piggy to give them more flying as well. So now you have flying Swiftness Pigs. Pigs do fly. Go figure. We have Eruption and Ground and Air Supremacy. That's ironic, isn't it? Finding those two in the same pack. I like that. Another one. Alright, so we've seen a lot of cards of the set already, so I'm probably going to skip through a lot of these. We got a Full Art Black Leaf and a Resuscitating Will again. That's cool. Alexandra's Crash is an interesting card. Destroy target entity with total cost 4 or more. That's interesting for 2. And it's in white. And another Eruption. So I was yet to find one of the 2 Magic Stones of the set. Hopefully we find one of those soon. Talked about most of these cards. We have Essence of the Void. Full Art and the Holy Prince. This is awesome. When this card enters the field, it's secret rare. Reveal any number of pandas from your hand. You gain 200 life for each card revealed this way. Whenever you gain life, you may banish a light gem. If you do, this card deals damage to target resonator equal to the life you gained. That's cool. I rate this card. I just don't know how it fits. Because once again, light and then basing things off how many cards are in your hand. I'm not sure if that's good. But there's a God Art here. Your life becomes 4,000. So if you ever get 7 stones and this guy's on the field, you can basically heal to full. That might be important. Knight of the Black Moon. Each player discards a card. And End of Possession again. So there's about a 70% chance on finding a ruler in a box at the moment as well. So hopefully we find one of those. Aura of Hope. Rest. Oh, and here's the Magic Stone. So this goes with Time Spinning Witch, which is awesome. Magic Stone of Time, you can tap it to produce water, or you can produce time. I like playing this card in Shayla as well, because you can play some of the God Arts and Awakening stuff in that deck too. I think that's awesome. The End of Dreams, put target Resonator on the bottom of its owner's deck for 4. It's hard removal in Wind, so I don't mind it costing a lot. Winds of Guidance, search your deck for 3 chance. Put them into your graveyard and then shuffle your deck. That could be guild support, searching your deck for 3 elemental chance and then putting them into your deck, into your graveyard. I think that might be a thing. What we have here is Burnt Cooking Full Art and then Reincarnation of the Holy Tree Yggdrasil. This is cool. I love this card. This card is the nuts. If you jam this in Fox, it's the nuts. Whenever another Resonator you control is put into the graveyard from the field, like a Lilia's Petal activate, search your deck for a Resonator with total cost less than that Resonator, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I like this guy. You can play him with other 2 costs and they fetch out the 1 cost, or even if you sacrifice one of your chimeras already, you then pull out a Lilia's Petal Kitsune King for 4 cost, and then he brings out more little dudes. I think this card has massive potential there. He's also an elemental, but I'm not really sure if I'd play her in there. Spirit of Time. Every last ounce of strength. Draw 3 cards, you lose 600 life. This card's not as good as a Blood Spray. It's just a scale up of it, but then removing the Awakening to kill something. I don't think I'd ever play this card over Blood Spray, but it is pretty cool, and it's an option. And drawing cards is always strong, especially as a control deck. Often control decks just want to draw cards, just because it helps you find answers. That's why we find Wind so strong at the moment. Full Art Lightning Crash, that's awesome. And a Full Art Secret Rare Welser, which is sick. This card has some massive potential. Whenever you play a chant, copy it. Well, there you go. There's chants that deal 1,100 and 1,200 life. So you just copy it. That's pretty sick. You can God Art it in, so once per game you can activate ability. God Art. Reveal this card from your hand, put this card from your hand into the field. At the next end of turn, from your opponent's turn. The next end of your opponent's turn, remove this card from the game. Yeah, there's combo potential there. Winds of Guidance again, and Scar's Testament. This card is a draft card. Give it swiftness for 1. I love this set. And I love how this set is the last. It's rare 4, so the last of the cluster. I really rate that because there's nothing here that is overtly broken. It all feels pretty balanced and fair. And I think it really rounds out Raya cluster very well, especially with the bands coming in some of the cards. So beyond the threshold of time, draw a card, put the top card of your magic stone. So 3 costs, then it'll ramp your stone. Comes in a recovered as well. It's kind of important. If you're paying 3, you want the stone to be recovered. Lightning Waterfowl. Now, we haven't got this card yet. Flying, 3 cost. 800. This card gains swiftness and barrier as long as the weather is thunderstorm. This card is nutty. Swiftness and barrier. I want that. I want that on other Resonators. Normally swiftness is just a fire thing, but with Shayla and thunderstorms, things start to get swiftness. I rate this card. Flying, swiftness, barrier. Oh my god. Yes, please. I want to play that card. I want to play Shayla. Sprinting Time Horse, Requiem, yada yada. Gone through these, full art. And a Leaf Paladin's sick. So we've talked a lot about elementals already. This guy basically fetches each different color or attribute. And then shuffle your hand. It's only 500 for 3, and I'm not a huge fan of that stat, but it does offer a lot of like pseudo card draw. Kind of there, wherever the null, each player draws a card. You don't want to be doing that. Unless, of course, you want to so-called mill your opponent. We have Isolate. we have Magic Soldier of Time, full art, that's cool. And we have Zero, sick. I love this. So it actually starts on the other side as Ray the Black Owl. And this card cannot be attacked. At the beginning of your main phase, invert this card. So you play it and then wait a turn. And then after recovery, you flip it over. Becomes Zero. Entities you control gain whenever this card is targeted by a spell or ability. Cancel it. This ability only triggers once per turn. This card is good. This card is awesome, and I think a lot of control decks, or at least combo decks, might be playing this. Like, just want to protect something for a turn. Leave me alone, please. I think there's massive potential here. And I'm super glad I pulled one. I love it. Beast of Light. I think this card is super underrated. This card gains +1/+1 for each gem you control. What? I've seen some control panel decks go up to like 15 gems. And then this guy will get turned sideways and deal half your life. Just from one attack. I think it's underrated. Yeah. I want to play Pandas. The Knight of the Black Moon. That's cool. We have Sleeping Vampire, Leaf Fairy, Bloodied Wing, and Moonlit Canopy, so that's a full art rare, you can see there. That's pretty cool. At the beginning of each player's main phase, the player loses 400 life. For 3, I'm not sure. Kintara, I love this card. Fairy Tale Precision, so Fairy Tale is the important part here. When this card enters the field, put +100/+100 counter on it for each Fairy Tale and non-Fairy Tale beast you control. So it counts itself, by the way. So it's a 2-cost with 700/700 with precision. That's pretty awesome. I rate that. And then any other Fairy Tale, it just starts to scale out of control, and I dig that a lot. And then 3 Sisters, and I'm glad I pulled a Katara there. I think that's awesome. I think I skipped over one of his pets as well, Kintara's Beast. End of Dreams full art, and another Blazer rare. Power Gem Warrior full art, and Roar of the Soul. Another AE support type card. Put up to 2 target soul resonators from your graveyard into your hand, or 1. So at the moment we're trying to bait out AU to use their souls, unlike our turn. This is a good way for AU to recover those souls. Very, very good way actually. But once again, AU can only play 1 copy of that, so you just have to work through 1 copy and then stick to the plan. Sick. That's awesome. I love that. Awesome art. Shiny full art. Cool effect. Struggle of a life or death struggle. So this is kind of an upgrade of a card that we've seen before called Soul Hunt. Each player discards a card and then banishes a resonator with the highest cost among resonators they control. That's important, but is it good enough for 2? I think a banish effect is good enough for 2, but is it good enough at chance speed? I don't know, but I think there's potential for this card. I think it's kind of underrated, only because we're used to paying only 1 cost for Soul Hunt. I think there's potential there. Dragon Hunter and Crash again. Getting close to the end of the box. We have a Mother's Love. It's an aura, draw a card, or prevent 800 damage. And a Seed of Rebirth. So we're still looking for a ruler or the second stone. Our full art is Analyst of the Ocean Floors, Allosaurus. Um, return target non-magic stone, non-J ruler entity to its owner's hand as an activated ability. That's pretty cool, but I think he's overcosted. Oops. Firebird Full Art. This card deals 400 damage at chance speed and as a battle art to target J/Resonator. If this card was awakened, players cannot chase it, and it deals 600 instead. So awakening is 4. I don't really rate this card. I actually think PL's cooking is actually strictly better. Reunion again, and Glint. That's another important card for the set. Yeah, I'll write something about that card. Demon. Yeah, the burnt cooking. There we go. Power of the Emperor, full art again. And Adam, Psychart, the Envoy of Valhalla. This card is awesome. I love this card. This card cannot attack or block though. And that's okay because it has 0 attack. At the beginning of your main phase, you may remove target J/Resonator, your non-magic stone, non-J ruler entity from the game. So even additions, anything your opponent controls that isn't a magic stone or a J ruler, you can remove from the game. That's pretty awesome. And Lightning Foul. I think we've gotten every secret rare, or one of every secret rare now. That's pretty cool. Still hunting a ruler, maybe? Oh no, here we go, Kaiser Phoenix. I lied. The battle art, deal 1,000, and then you can bounce it back to hand if you want. It's okay, but it fits Control Kirik again, and I just don't think it's good enough because it's too expensive. And full art guild member. We get to pull on my favorite card too, Arrival of the Hero. So we have Were Rabbit on the Null Moon. And Grimia. I love that. I love that artwork. And we have another Sleeping Vampire. And Yggdrasil again. This is cool. So Yggdrasil used to be a ruler as well. We've had Evil Yggdrasil and Good Yggdrasil. And now we have a Resonator. Oh, we've already had a Resonator actually. I didn't see play, but I think this one will. Wow, that's rare. Witch's Lament, full art, and then Laurite 7 Disciples. This card is pretty strong. And I actually think I'll call this card meta defining because people need to be playing Laurite, another card, and then people need to be able to kill opponents' Laurites so this card doesn't get out of control. I think there's potential there. We haven't seen that one either. Draw 2 cards. And a full art Welser. And then our Ethereal Stone. Cool. So that's our full art secret rare. Look how awesome that is. That's sick. That's cool. And then this is our Magic Stone. Banish this card, put an aura from your removed area into your hand. That's okay. It's kind of like another stone that we have. Banish, draw a card. But this is a little bit more specific. And it recycles an aura, so we're spending auras from graveyard. Now this is the last booster, and I don't think we pulled the chase rare. Every box is a chase rare. I thought every box had a chase rare. What What we do have though is Bloodied Wings and Light's Palace again. So no ruler from what I could see. And Red Leaf and Bloodied Wings. So I'm going to go through all the cards again and pull out some of my favourites that I pulled, and we'll have another look. So some of my favourite cards from what we pulled today is the Gil Lapis. I love that card. I really rate Grimir as well. Being like a 2-cost 12/12 that can come down is ridiculously strong. I think that's going to see a lot of play. The Distortion of Time, I think, is also a really good card. It's a shame that it's a God Art. I mean, it's balanced that it's a God Art, but it's a shame still. But I dig that. So there's two of the secret rares. Here's another one. Ray the Black Owl. I need another one, I reckon. It cannot be attacked, so it can't even have precision attack into it. I think that's great. And then to flip, and then it gives everything a sweet automatic ability to protect it, and I rate that. Protecting things that you've established on board is really important, and I think this card, in a few decks, AML can bring this guy in as well. Kintaro is a fun card, and I think this card might make some swarmy fairy tales, do some sweet things. Maybe we'll see Wendy's again. I've already built a Million deck featuring this guy, and I think that's sweet as well. And Laurite 7 Disciples. I can't mention Winds of Ominous Moon without saying this card title. I think it's just quite strong and meta-defining. Giving something Swiftness, Flying, Best Strike, Precision, Drain, and Barrier if you just control Laurite. And Laurite's already seeing a lot of play. I think this card is bonkers. Yeah, well, thank you very much for watching. Thanks again to Ozanimarts for supplying the mat, the box, and the ruler, the Time Spinning Witch. This card is awesome, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the box opening. Cheers.